And he said, and this is really important, this story, this is about listening. He said, let's do the scene again. And something about the situation, of the kindness, of the love that I was being exposed to for the first time in my life, for the fact that suddenly I was in a theatre company where people were friendly. Something about the situation made me feel different about the scene, and I stopped worrying, and we did it again. And he said, John. And I said, yes. And he said, you're not listening to me. And I said, yes, I am. And he said, no, you're not. And I said, yes, I am. And he said, no, you're not. You call that listening. That isn't what listening is. Listening is something else. And I said, what's listening? And he said, that. That moment then, when you said, what's listening? When you responded to me. When I said you're not listening, and you responded to me. You took in what I said. You took me in. You weren't afraid of me. You weren't trying to feel bad about yourself because you were doing something wrong. You took me in. And that kind of embracing of the other person it isn't a thing that you then think, oh, right, got it now, I'll do that tomorrow night and my career will be sorted out. It took me some period of years after that evening to really learn what he'd meant. But it was in the back of my mind all the time that listening was something vaguely important that I had to sort out. And over the years I gradually did sort it out. And I realised with it that if I was going to go on stage open to the other person that much, completely open to what they might be doing, then my lines would have to be incredibly solidly learnt, because I wouldn't be thinking at all about me. I would still have me there. I wouldn't just be the servant of the other actor, just completely hypnotised by the other person. I would be listening to them as me. But the lines would be just in my DNA. They would be learnt so well. So I'm encouraging you there to realise that you can learn lines that well and to learn lines that well. But I'm really saying that if you've understood, if I've told the story well enough, what I mean by this listening thing, then you may be inspired gradually over a period of time, or maybe tonight, to apply it